Hi, good afternoon. It's Debbie from Homebodies Fitness. Today we're going to just do a nice, slow, stretchy, kind of gooey kind of stretch, flow yoga class. So I hope that you'll join me on the mat. If you have any tools, any blocks, any blankets, anything you might need, hi Michelle, grab those and bring them to your mat. It'll take about 30 seconds to get started. Hey Jen, as you can see, I miss you guys. I wasn't going to go live with my yoga today. I was just going to try to do something on my own, but I kind of need your inspiration because I too have been in the house. I'm in my third week. It's getting a little hairy and I'm tight. I'm working out a lot and differently, as I said before. I'm teaching. I'm thankful to have this forum to get to people because believe me, it helps me maybe more than it helps you, because there's a plethora of outdoor workouts or online workouts right now. So thank you for being here and hopefully participating in some of this. Ariane. And we're going to get started. So let's come to the mat. Come back and sit into your child's pose. Open your knees as wide as your mat. And then let your hips sit all the way back. So right now my head is up so you can hear me, but I want your head down. So bring the forehead to the mat. And for now, let's just keep our arms very soft and maybe make a pillow for your head as you relax. This flow is going to be slow. It's going to be a lot of stretching, a lot of relaxing into it. It's just kind of what I feel a lot of us might need right now, rather than a heavy-duty pow vinyasa class. Because, as I said, I think a lot of us are doing a lot of workouts that maybe we're not used to. Our hips are going to get really tight, and we need to release. So here we are. So take a few more breaths in this child's pose. Let your head rest on your arms. As I said, let your belly soften between your thighs. Start to scan your body from head to toe and notice if there's any tension that is there in your body, which is very likely to happen. By the way, I have some ambient music in the back by Fit Radio Music, so licensed music. And just allow your body to surrender. Breathe into the spaces in the back from your right side to your left side, from your top to your bottom, spanning all the way across your sacrum, across the middle part of your body, across your shoulders. If you come in late to the yoga practice, don't worry about it. Catch up. Just come into child's pose. And now those of you who've been here for a while, start to stretch your arms out a little bit more in front of you and reach your hands long. Press the heel of your hands down to push your hips back a little bit more. Again, relax the neck and shoulders. Soften the belly. I like to kind of move a little bit side to side here. Just, it makes me feel good. So I want you to do what makes you feel good, right? I might be cueing you and giving you ideas of what to do, but I want you, if it doesn't feel right to you, just back off and go where you want. On the next inhale, let's all raise up and walk over to the right side. Take your left hand on top of your right, push your hips back, trying to release any tension in your neck and shoulders as we empty the breath and surrender a little bit more into our mats, letting go. Take this opportunity to listen to your breath. Let it be your barometer. Inhale up and walk over to the other side. So it kind of guides you when you're in too deep, or maybe it lets you know you're not in deep enough and you can get a little bit more. But your body is very intuitive. It's the mind that tells us to do different things. So the body knows when it's time to go deeper, when it's time to back off. We have built-in mechanisms, I'm not going to get into that stuff right now, that allow us not to overstretch or do too much harm to our bodies. It's the mind that does it. Come back to center on the inhale. Walk your hands forward. Rise up to your hands and knees. Shake out your legs in case the knees are feeling stiff. And then just come back to the center where your hands are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. Drop your belly, arch your back, maybe tuck your toes underneath you, and draw your collarbones forward. As you exhale, bring your chin to your chest, round and curl your spine. Tuck that tailbone underneath you. Push the floor away, and then release it. Do it again. Arch your back, dip your belly, broaden your collarbones. Exhale, round and curl. Tuck that tailbone underneath you. Pull the belly up and in. Inhale, release. Exhale, round and curl. I can barely see, but I see a few names from my yoga retreat at Yogaaaa. Thank you. And hopefully we'll be there at the end of May. Right? We need to. Round the back, round your spine, chin to chest, head hangs down. Start to move yourself from side to side, shifting the weight from one arm and one leg to the other. And then take this into circular motions, just moving through the shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, fingers, toes. Really just getting nice juice. You might hear those snap, crackle, pops like I just heard. And then reverse it. Just taking big or small circles as the case may be. Listen to your body, let it guide you where to go. And then let's do a few forward and back. So push back to that child's pose, then come forward, maybe arch your back. Push back again. Come forward, drop your belly, relax your shoulders. Push back again. Let's do it a couple more times. And then last one, we're going to go back to the child's pose. So maybe you want to bring your legs a little closer. Walk your hands in and roll up. Now I'm going to bring my knees closer. I'm going to sit on my heels. If that's not good for you and you have a block or something to put underneath you, or just move your legs around to a comfortable seat. And then bring your hands to your heart center wherever you are. Close your eyes. Just take a few moments here to really connect to the breath, connect to your mat. Connect to this time. Take your hands in prayer and bring your thumbs to your third eye, the space between your two brows. Gently press the thumbs to the third eye and close your eyes and visualize a vibrant violet color. Breathing in, breathing out. On the next inhale, press those arms right above the crown of your head and push your palms together and draw your elbows outward a little bit more, getting a little bit more stretch in the chest. And then bring the arms up overhead and spread your fingers, lift your heart up. As you exhale, press the air down, engage the back muscles. Take your arms behind your back, interlace your fingers. Take the knuckles to the earth, lift your chest up, eye gaze to the sky. Lead with your heart and fold over your legs. Let your head come down. Inhale, reach back with your arms, lift your heart. Bring the knuckles towards the earth. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. Exhale, lead with your heart, fold over your legs, let your head come down. This time we're going to lift our hips off our heels. So I'll turn this way for a second. And you can round your spine. Those of you who know rabbit pose, arms are up with your palms together over your back. Maybe some of you can get your arms all the way over your head. Maybe that's not happening today for all of us. And then empty the breath and sit back on your heels. Lower the arms as you lift the torso, lift the chest up. Open up your collarbones. Now release your hands behind you. Bring the fingers towards you unless that's causing too much stress in your shoulders. Lean back and see if you want to lift your hips up off your heels. Now if you're like me and you've been doing a lot of lower body exercise, we're walking a lot, maybe running, this is a nice release for the hips and the quads. And come back down. Good. Come back to your hands and knees. Shake out your hips. Tuck your toes underneath you. Press the bottoms of your feet down towards the earth and stretch just your right leg back. Keep it on the mat. And shift a little forward and back, over the toes. Come back to center. Release your right knee, stretch the left leg back. So remember, today I'm keeping this kind of a nice, easy, slow flow, nothing crazy, just to get us moving and get our minds out of the media and into ourselves for that moment. Knees down. Good. Tuck your legs, your toes underneath you, arch your back. Round and curl your spine again. We're going to come into the world's greatest stretch. Come back to neutral. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Now, a couple things to look for here. Right knee over the ankle. You're not on top of your left patella. You're above it, right? You're just in front of it. If you're tight or you just want to be lifted a little bit, take your hands on blocks. If you don't have blocks, take a couple of books underneath you and lift your chest up. Keep pushing your left hip forward. Is that Vanessa? Hi. Nice to see you. Breathe, shoulders back and down. Close your eyes for a moment. I don't want you to look. I want you to feel. Press the big toe to the earth. Now press your left top of your foot and shin down. And notice what you feel in your left psoas, right? Just notice the difference between that and tucking the toes underneath you. One more breath here, and then we're just going to bring our hands to our thighs. Relax your shoulders. Push that left hip forward. Drop your shoulders down. Maybe turn your eye gaze up a little bit more than your neck, so you don't want to crank up that neck. And then if you want, release the arms and take them over your head. Interlace your fingers. Turn your palms up. Bring your bottom ribs towards your hips so you're not pooching out into that lower back. Lift up and then back. Breathe. Keep pushing that left foot down to really give some action there. One more breath, and we're going to release the hands as we exhale. Hands to the floor. If you had blocks and you want to move them away, move them away. Good, we're going to step that right leg back, kick it up in the air, and shake it out and bring it to the floor, and roll side to side. Come back to the center. We're going to take the left leg and do the same thing. Help it out if you need to. Check out the knee is over the ankle and that you're not sitting directly on your patella here. Come forward and just press. Remember, if you need the blocks or something underneath your hands, take it underneath your hands. Lift your chest up so you don't put all your weight onto your thigh. You've got to hold yourself up and then push that right hip forward. Press into the top of the right foot and shin and really kind of get some action in there, right? See what's going on in that right side. Like I said, thanks to Vanessa and team, my hips are tight, my ass is tight, everything is tight. I need a little bit of a stretch. Hands on top of the thigh, push that left knee forward, shoulders down, ribs towards hips, breathe in, breathe out. Settle into it. Don't be in a rush. Today is slow. We're not going fast. Inhale the arms over your head. Interlace your fingers. Maybe move them one finger over. Turn your fingers inside out and upside down. Bring the ribs down towards your hips so you're not pouching out and you're not dumping into your back. And then keep pressing that right top of the foot and hip down or shin down. Breathe in, breathe out. Take another breath. Release your hands as you exhale. Hands to the floor. Step your left leg back, bring it back, shake it out, and bring it back to the floor. Find yourself in child's pose. Inhale to all fours, tuck your toes. Find a downward facing dog, hips up in the air. But I want you just to shift your weight from side to side. Right foot, right hand, left hand. Move and just kind of notice how the hips are doing. Because this is really our first time on our feet in this practice. Come back to your center. Come up onto your tippy toes. Engage your quadricep muscles, so the front muscles of your thighs, your knees are pulling up. And then draw your navel point inward. Bring your ribs towards your hips and bring your chest towards your thighs. Breathe in, breathe out. Come high on your toes. Keep all that just previously mentioned engaged. Come forward to your high plank. Resist the earth. Crown of the head forward. Heels back. Everything is strong here. This is a really powerful pose. Whether we do it in fitness or we do it in yoga, It's a plank and it's powerful. Knees to the floor, sit on your heels, child's pose. A little flow here. Come to your hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale on your toes. Engage your quadricep muscles. Draw your pelvic muscles up and draw your chin just lightly towards the collarbone. Come forward with all that action still there. It's going to make you lighter through the vinyasa sequence. Push back, downward dog, hips up. Inhale on your toes. High plank pose. Find energy here. Draw the heels of your hands towards your feet. Draw your feet towards your hands. Lower that left knee one more time. Step that right foot forward in between your two hands. Breathe in, breathe out. We've been here before. Okay, world's greatest stretch. Says it everywhere I look. I find this being said as the world's greatest stretch. Why? Because we sit so much, and maybe now we're sitting a lot. Right? So we need to stretch out the psoas. If they get tight, if they get weak, they pull on our spine. Last thing we need, right? Hands on your thighs one more time. Make sure you're not sitting on that left knee. And then bring your arms all the way up over your head. Inhale. Palms in prayer this time. Hook your thumbs open and then pull back. Maybe a little bit more back bend, but as you're lifting out of your torso, you're pushing that left hip forward. So again, we're not dumping into our back. And as you exhale, we're going to take both hands on the inside of that right leg. Hug the right knee towards your shoulder, pushing into the left side of that left top foot and shin. And then we're going to turn the right toes out to the right side, staying here for a few breaths. Breathe in and empty out. Good, so now we got a couple double whammies going on here, left side and right side. Stay here, just a few more moments. And then we're going to turn the right toes forward again, hands on the outside of the right foot, tuck your left toes underneath you, lift the knee up, and kick that right leg in the air, three-legged downward dog, shake it out. Feet on the floor, chest to thighs. High on your tippy toes. High plank, strong and engaged. Right knee down, left leg steps forward. Help it out if you need to. Climb to your fingertips, pull your hips forward, shoulders away from your ears. Good, begin to bring your arms up. Maybe you stop at your thigh, or maybe you bring your hands up now in prayer. Switch the hook of your thumbs and open up your fingers. Push your hip forward. Maybe some of you have really flexy spine, so maybe you can do a little bit more of a back bend, but keep pressing that right hip forward. Keep pressing the top of the right foot and shin into the floor. One more breath. As you empty the breath, let the hands come inside of your left leg. Turn your left toes out to the side and just settle in here. Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, Julie. Breathe. Just settle in. No stress. Let your body go where it needs to go. It will tell you. It will go there. Couple more breaths. One more. Return to center. Left hand outside, left foot. Right toes tuck under. Lift your knee, not your hips. Step that left leg in the air. Shake it out. Four on the floor, downward dog. High onto your tippy toes. Come forward to a high plank. Belly is lifted. Everything is strong. Knees to the floor. Child's pose. Bring the arms behind you. So get rid of some of that tension in your wrist. Turn the palms up and just relax over your legs. Bring your chin to your chest. Roll yourself up. Hands by your knees, tuck your toes underneath you. Lift the knees off the floor. Bring the feet towards each other and open up your knees and walk your hands inside of your legs and out in front of you. And then pull your belly to your spine as your chin comes to your chest, rounding and curling the spine. Inhale, draw your heart forward. Exhale, round and curl your spine, chin to your chest. Inhale, release your spine. Bring your hands back outside of your knees. Bring your knees back together. Plant your palms or come to your fingertips or those blocks and lower your heels and lift your hips. Separate your feet the width of your hips, which is about 2 fists in between. And fold your body in half and sway. Just let your body go where it needs to go. Make your way through center. Hang your head, let everything release. It's okay if your knees are bent, particularly if you have tight hamstrings, you're gonna have to. Or maybe you need to put your hands on your shins or those blocks or books that are underneath your hands. Let your head reach down to the floor, sway a little side. Draw the chin towards your chest, push down through your feet, and roll up slowly through your spine. One vertebrae at a time. When you come up, roll the shoulders back and around a couple times. Up, back, down, and around. One more time. Up, back, down, and reverse it. All the way back up, down and forward. Back up, down and forward. One more time. And then release your arms by your side. Your feet are still hips width apart. Your arms are open. Shoulders back and down. Tuck your tailbone underneath you so we're not pouching out here again. So getting that length in the spine. Shoulders stack over hips. Lift your knees up so your legs are strong. Lift your toes up. Separate them and place them back down onto the floor. Stretch the arms over your head. Take your right hand to your left wrist. Turn your left palm to the ceiling. First 2 fingers touching. Lift out of your rib cage. Create length. And then take it over to the side as you exhale. Lift your heart. Lift your throat. Eye gaze maybe to your left elbow, please. And keep pulling that left arm with the right for another breath. And then rise back up, inhale. Switch the arms. So the left hand grabs the right wrist. First 2 fingers on the right hand connect. Lift up out of your center and up and over to your left side. Same thing. Throat is visible. Collarbones are open. Maybe your eye gaze goes to your right elbow crease as you continue to pull yourself over to that left side. Inhale back to center. Lift your heart up. Open your arms out. Bend your knees and forward fold over your legs. Bring your hands on the floor, shins or blocks. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold and let go. Head goes down. Chin to chest, round your spine, roll all the way up. Roll the shoulders back and stretch the arms over your head. Bring your hands to prayer and bring your hands to your heart center. Set your feet a little bit closer. We're still at the back of our mat. Maybe close your eyes for a moment and notice Tadasana. Find strength and power in this pose. Gazes at your nose, internal gaze, or if your eyes are slightly open still. And pressing down through the feet so our 4 corners of our feet are grounded into the earth. Big toe, little toe, ball of the foot, heel of the foot. Tailbone is tucked underneath you. Torso is long, collarbone presses forward. Lengthen in the cervical spine, so space between your ears and shoulders. And then the crown of the head reaches towards the sky. If your hands are not up, bring your hands up over your head. Lift your heart. Open up, swan dive, elbows, or knees bend, hands to the floor, shins or blocks. Lengthen your spine. Walk 1 time out, separate your feet back to the hips width. So I'm on my fingertips. You may be still on your palms of your hands, depending on your flexibility of your length. Inhale again, walk your hands forward again. Maybe your hands are down and your heels are still down. Great. Inhale, look forward, do that again. And keep doing it until you find yourself in your downward facing dog. So you might have to make some adjustments on your mat. Come high on your toes, pull your knees up towards your hips, and come back to that high plank. We've been here before. This time lower your knees, chest, and chin to the floor. Come onto your belly. Bring your hands by your side, so your thumbs, ladies, lift your chest up. You might have lost me for a second. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, lift your chest. Now lift your arms and push your pubic bone down towards the floor, top of the foot and shin pressing towards the floor. Squeeze your elbows by your side. Exhale, come down, sit on your heels and tuck your toes this time. Lift your knees off the mat and find a downward facing dog. Inhale high up on your tippy toes. Come back to that high plank. We've been here before a ton of times. Either lower to your knees or go halfway down. Roll over your toes, upward dog. Hips should feel pretty good right now. Downward dog, hips up. Hi, Sue. And breathe. So here in this downward dog, I want you to think about pushing the heel of your hand forward and then spreading your arms wide so your pinky fingers are reaching energetically towards the edge of your mat, as are your pinky toes. So make this really strong and stable. One more time on your toes. High plank, hold the plank, not your breath. Look forward, bring the collarbones forward, either lower to your knees or halfway down. Roll over your toes or on your belly. Upward dog, downward dog, we all meet. If you need to be in a child's pose, great, go there. Soften your knees, look at your hands, and take little steps to make your way to the top of your mat. If you like to jump to the top, go for it. Hands to shins, block or floor, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Hang your head. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to your heart or your hips or thighs, rise to standing. Heel toe your feet together. Tadasana. So we should all be at the front of our mat. If you're not, take a few steps forward. Inhale, press the arms up overhead, open the arms out, and as you exhale, forward fold, hands to floor, shins or blocks. Halfway lift, inhale, right leg steps back. Exhale, we're going to drop that right knee again to the floor, release the back foot. Bring the arms up over your head, maybe the palms together, ribs towards hip, keep pushing forward. As you exhale, hands inside left leg, turn your left toes out. So remember, we did this earlier, but we're not holding it quite as long as we did then, unless you really want to, that's great. And then turn your left toes forward one more time. This time, let's tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee up, move your right hand either on a block or just inside of your left foot. Left hand to your hip, lengthen your spine, rotate to your left side, stack your shoulders, hug your hips towards the midline, and then maybe that left arm comes up, maybe your eye gaze goes up to your hand as well. Breathe. So keep thinking about pulling that left hip towards the midline because it wants to shoot out. One more breath. Left hand inside left foot, right toes on their side. That hip goes out again, so draw it back in. Right arm comes up. Maybe you need that left hand on a block, or maybe you'll put your hand on your thigh. So maybe your forearm or your arm are on your thigh, but don't put your weight into it. Inhale, rise up, straighten the front leg. Exhale, rebend hands inside that left leg. Turn your toes forward, lower your left knee, separate your hands, and sit back and stretch the front leg. Fold over it. Now my hamstrings are tight, so I'm going to have a bend in my knee. I want to avoid it a little bit, so notice my toes might turn up. I'm going to keep the toes down and not avoid it, but I'm not going to have a straight leg. It's just the way it is, yeah? Fold over that left shin. Press the same thing. Press that right foot and shin down into the floor. One more breath. Inhale, release. Right toes tuck underneath you. Left leg comes in the air, three-legged dog. Shake it out. If this is too much, you're on your knees. Left foot to the floor, downward dog. Inhale high on your toes. Exhale your chaturanga to your knees or not. Upward dog, maybe you add push-ups to it. Downward dog, we hips back. Hips back. We sit our hips back. Inhale, feet come together. Exhale, stay. Right leg in the air. Right leg steps through. Help it out if you need to. Lower your left knee to the floor. Release the foot. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale. I'm not sure. Did we come up? Let's take a breath. And as we exhale, let's bring the hands back inside right leg. Turn the right toes out to the side. Keep leaning forward on that left leg so you get a little bit of that psoas, a lot more of that psoas stretch. And then bring your hands back. Tuck your left toes underneath you. Lift the left knee up. Draw the right hip now towards midline. Squeeze everything towards your midline. Left hand moves in, or maybe it's on a block. Right hand to your hip. Turn yourself to your right side. Stack your shoulders. Right arm comes up, spread your fingers. Bring your left side to your right and keep pulling that right hip in midline because it kind of wants to get sneaky on us. One more breath. Right hand inside right foot. Turn your left foot on its side. That right hip goes out, so sneak it back in. Left arm comes up. Maybe your right arm is on a block. Breathe. Left pinky toes on the floor. Inhale. And exhale. Remember, if you need more support, hand on your thigh. As you take the next inhale, we're going to rise up and straighten the front leg. And as we exhale, we windmill back down. Release the left knee to the floor and straighten the right leg and fold. I hope I didn't miss anything there, guys. I'm sure you'll let me know. Hang your head. And breathe. Remember, we don't want to avoid the hamstrings unless we have a serious injury that we're dealing with. So try to keep the toes down and not lean over to that pinky side so much. One more breath. On the inhale, release that right knee or rebend it. Toes tuck under. Right leg in the air, three-legged dog. Shake it out. Let it go. Remember, you could be on your knees, foot to the floor, down dog. Inhale on your toes. Exhale, come forward and lower down your way. Upward dog, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Breathe in and empty out. So once again, the heel of the hand is pushing forward. The pinky side of your fingers is pushing outward. So you feel this spreading of your back. The pinky side of your toes is also spreading outward. So you'll feel the same thing on the outside of the legs. Inhale on your toes. Come forward one more time to plank. Lower all the way down to the floor, however you get there. Release your feet. Lift your chest. Lift your arms. Good. Breathe in. Squeeze the elbows by your side. Crown of the head forward, toes back. Exhale, come down. Inhale, push back, child's pose. One more time. Rise up to your hands and knees. Separate your knees, hips width apart, hands, shoulders width apart. Right arm reaches up in the air. Take a nice look at it and take it underneath your left arm. Palm up towards the sky. Reach your left arm forward and maybe the back of your head or your ear will touch the floor on the right side. Don't force the shoulder. It might not want to go there. So those of you who are familiar with my vinyasa classes or any other vinyasa classes, if you want to make anything more out of this, if you want to take your bind or if you want to lift your leg up off the floor or bind that as well, please do. Today we're taking a slower flow, but I want to encourage you to do whatever it is that you need. One more breath here. Keep your left arm outstretched. Bring your right arm to meet it as you bring your chin and chest to the floor. Pressing the forearms towards the floor, come forward, tuck your toes, find that plank on your forearms, draw your elbows towards each other and your elbows towards your feet towards your elbows. Bring your heart forward. Lay your hips on the floor, release the feet the width of your mat, pull your chest through, relax your shoulders down. So I'm looking up at you so you can hear me, but I don't want you to crank your head up. So I want your eye gaze to be more towards the front edge of your mat. And then you should be resting right above your pubic bone and right below your hip bones, that little triangular action there. And then push back to your heels, child's pose. Walk your hands back. Bring your arms by your side, release your shoulders, let it go. Come back to your arms reaching out in front of you. Come to your high tabletop position. Separate the knees, hips width apart, the hands, shoulders width apart. Take your left arm, open it up, maybe gaze at it. I'm a little tight here, so I can't get that much rotation without shifting my hips, so I'm not going to get that high. As you exhale, bring it underneath your right arm, back of the head or the ear towards the mat. Right arm towards the front of your mat and breathe. So any variations you might have done on the other side, please take. If you lifted a leg in the air, if you bound that leg, if you just bound your arm, or stay where you are for 2 more breaths. And on the next breath, that right arm stays out. Left arm meets it, puppy dog pose, chin and chest down. If your shoulders and chest are tight, you might feel this. So don't force it, go where you can go. And then come forward, tuck your toes underneath you. One more time, lift your knees off the floor, parallel, body is parallel to the floor. Now pull yourself a little forward, lower your hips, keep the feet wide again. Option to stay right here or straighten the arms. Bring your chin down towards your chest. Try to release the tension anywhere else. And then just take your eye gaze over your right shoulder, look towards your left heel. And then switch, chin to chest. Look over your left shoulder. Come back to center. Push seat to heels. Release the arms by your side. And let go. Roll through your spine, sit up on your heels. And let's just swing our legs out in front of us. Bringing your left leg in front of your right Sukhasana. If you want to, you can sit on a block or whatever you have that you can roll up under your hips if your hips are tight. And then just move yourself from side to side. And at this, also, I like to sometimes put blocks or books or blankets or towels underneath my knees if you're feeling particularly tight for any reason. If your hips are tight, it's going to answer in your knees a lot. So bring your hands on top of your thighs. Pull your heart forward, drop your shoulders down, close your eyes, gaze to the tip of your nose. Breathe in slowly. We're still breathing in and out of our nose. And then bring your hands to your heart center. You don't have to open your eyes, but feel free to. Stretch the arms over your head. Inhale, open up your chest. As you exhale, lean forward, keep your hips on the floor, and then reach your arms out as far as you can without your hips lifting off the floor. So push the heel of the hand forward, just like we do in child's pose or down dog. Push the heel of the hand forward to push the hips back. Let your belly soften in between your thighs. Inhale, rise up. Walk over to your left leg, place your forehead towards that knee. Maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't. Keep the shoulders and ears apart. Inhale, rise up, walk to the other side. Make sure again that your hips stay on the ground. Stay grounded. Let go of the shoulder tension, the neck, and fold over that right leg. You might notice if you're looking at me that I'm pretty tight over here. I can't get my head quite to my knee right now. Sometimes I take something underneath my head though. One more breath. Walk forward. Roll up. Bring your hands behind you, fingers pointing towards your hips or not. And then lift your chest up. Maybe you lift your hips up. If that's too stressful for you, don't go there. Maybe you drop your head back. That's not for everybody either. Let your hips come down, lean back, shake out your legs, kick out the stress, and change the switch, the cross of your legs. So I think I told you to put your left leg forward, so now put your right leg forward. If you didn't, just put the opposite leg forward. This is definitely my tighter side, so maybe you want to sit on a block or put the blocks underneath the knees again. And then bring your hands to your heart, close your eyes for a moment. See if you can create or keep the length of your spine, right? Those of you who know me know I call this Shavasana, all right? Where we just slump back. It's not Sanskrit, but it's very descriptive. So if you have that, you should sit up on something. Bring your hands to your heart, close your eyes for a moment. And then bring your arms up over your head, reach your arms up, lead with your heart. Fold yourself forward, hands to the earth, and then push your hips back. So again, you don't want your hips coming off the floor, but you don't want to force it down either, right? Breathe in and empty out. Notice the difference from side to side, right? There might be a very, very big difference from side to side. Inhale, rise up, walk to your right leg. Same thing we did on the other side. Relax your shoulders. Inhale, rise up, walk to the left side. And fold as best you can. You might get a little shower here from the sprinklers. Inhale, walk back to center. Rise up. Hands behind your back, fingers in whatever direction is good for you. Lift your hips up if you want. Let your head drop back. Breathe. Okay, we're going to make some lemon out of these lemonades of the water coming down. Hips down. Release your legs and shake out your legs. Rub out your knees. I'm going to turn my mat to the side. Stay where you are and roll down onto your back. Nothing fancy, just go ahead and roll back. When you get to the floor, hug your knees into your chest. Good. Take your happy baby, take your peace fingers around your big toes, or maybe the outside of your feet, or maybe you want to press down on the bottoms of your feet, or underneath your thighs. Again, tailbone on the floor. If your hips are up in the air, you might rethink how you grab your feet, right? Back off a little bit. And then think about drawing your knees outside your rib cage, your feet facing the ceiling or the sky if you're outside like me, and then draw your tailbone down. Breathe in, breathe out. Maybe you like to rock your baby from side to side. Gently release your feet and draw your knees together. Round and curl your spine, holding on to the tops of your shins. Lower your head to the floor. Stretch your legs in the air. Now, draw your knees up so that your legs are straight. If your legs are back here but the knees are bent, go forward and flex your feet. Now think about bringing your ribs towards your hips and your belly button towards your spine and your pelvic floor muscles up and in. Arms by your side, open up your shoulders. So think about your body almost like an L for some of us. One more breath. Bring your hands by your side. Hands underneath your back if you need support, or right by the side of your hips. Point your toes and flex your feet. And then lower your legs a little bit more. Point your toes and flex your feet. You might lose my feet here. Lower a little bit more. Point your toes, flex your feet. And do that 2 or 3 more times until your feet touch the floor. When your feet touch the floor, raise up onto your forearms, lift your heart, let your head come back towards the floor. Fish pose, Matsyenasana. Now, there shouldn't be any tension in your neck here. So if you're feeling tension in your neck, try to push more into your forearms to get that lift. All right? So no stretch in the neck. There's many variations in this pose, so take the one you're comfortable with. And then when you're ready to come out, chin to chest. Roll down to your spine, hug your knees back up to your chest. Let's take a spinal twist, arms out to the side. Move your hips left and let your knees fall to the right side. Look to your left. Return to center. Take your knees to the other side. Look in opposition to your legs. Move the legs where they need to be to accommodate any tightness in your hips or back. Come back to center. Hug your knees back in one more time. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Stretch your arms over your head. Reach in 2 directions away from your middle. So arms and legs pull away from center, and then just the right arm and the right leg, and just the left arm and the left leg. And then once again, both arms and legs, reach, 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 reach. Take a big breath in. And when you empty the breath, let the arms come by your side, palms up, hips open, and we lay down for our final pose, our Shavasana. So I want you to lay on your back, settle in, find some comfort, let go of the breath that we've been practicing with and return to your natural breath. It's your pattern, unique to you, so let your breath just come and go. Let your eye gaze go back to the tip of the nose, softly closed. Let your body melt into the mat. Let go of all tension, all distraction, all thoughts. It's very normal, especially right now, that thoughts will come into your head. It's going to happen. Just don't carry on the conversation with them. Take this time for yourself. This is purely for you. So every breath, it's like the ebb and the flow of a wave. The breath rises, or the chest rises and falls, the chest and belly. Inhaling and exhaling. And it's kind of like it lulls you down into your meditation. So empty, empty, empty. I invite you to stay longer in your Shavasana, as long as you want or need to. When you're ready to release yourself from Shavasana, come out of it. If you want to stay, come with me now. We're going to close this out together. Bring your hands to your heart. Take this opportunity to give yourself a moment of gratitude. I'm grateful that you all chose to stay and watch and play with this video today. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace to all. Please, please, please stay home, stay healthy. Join me again tomorrow at 12:30. It will be a live lower body fitness workout. Saturday morning, 9:30, live on Energy Exchange Yoga. That will be a flow yoga, a little bit more powerful than today. Hi, Sandy. And just stay healthy, guys. Thanks for being here. Feel free to share this, by the way, and you can watch it again.